All right, B'ezrat Hashem, B'siyata Dishmaya, we are learning on Rosh Chodesh Kislev. Baruch Hashem, Rosh Chodesh Kislev. Holy times. We're in the month of Chanukah, Baruch Hashem. We got to say Hallel today. And we are learning in B'yam Darkecha, on the book on Chanukah, Shovavim, Tu B'Shvat, and Purim, which is all the rabbinical holidays. And we are on page Kuf Dalet. Milchama mitchadeshet kol shana. That the war renews itself every year. Today's learning is for the success and blessings of Moshe Hirsch, Ben Mendel, and Leah Blima Bat Lazar, together with all of our soldiers. May B'ezrat Hashem be healthy and returning of all of the kidnapped, B'ezrat Hashem, and also Refuah Shlema for Shmuel Aaron Ben Rochel, and also for myself, Baruch Hashem. Unfortunately, I had to be in the hospital yesterday, but we're trying to make progress and get through. And everybody else in Am Yisrael that needs healing and refuah, B'ezrat Hashem, may we be healed speedily, refuat hanefesh, refuat haguf. Amen. Tov. So we know that Chanukah is a time of war. Chanukah was a war against the Greeks. And this war renews itself every single year, spiritually and physically, internally and externally. The Arizal teaches us that every year, at the time of the holiday, any holiday, the same miracles that happened originally at that time, they are brought down, that energy is brought down into the world again at that time. What was the light that was illuminated at the time of the Chashmonaim? Now it's coming back and it's illuminating in us every single year on these holy days. This light is not just stam illuminated. It's not for nothing that is illuminated down here without any reason. The depth is that everything that happened back then happens again, returns and happens again now in our times, in our soul. Internally, deep inside, it's going on the exact same thing, meaning that even today, the Greeks are fighting us. Even today, we're going through this fight with what's called the blemish of the Greeks, which we're going to learn about today. What is that? And what exactly does that mean? And we have to understand exactly what is this war that's going on. Because Baruch Hu is giving us this lofty light of Chanukah, so that we'll be successful in this war that's renewed every single day and every single year, on us. The more you put yourself in the mode of war to fight the Greeks that are inside of you, so too you will merit more light. It's not enough just to wait for and to expect and anticipate the light to come. Even though that's very nice to wait for it. You have to want the light from a place of knowledge that we're in the middle of a war right now. And we're praying to Hashem that He should send His light to save us. And if you don't think that the current war is connected to Greeks, and it's just with Ishmaelim, it's just with Hamas and Hezbollah, and you're wrong. Because we're also fighting the Greeks, we're also fighting the UN, we're fighting the Western world that's trying to calm us down and try to tell us how to fight and what to do. And we have to know that we are fighting the whole entire world, right? And obviously spiritually and physically. But Chanukah is this time that we're given the light again that the Chashmonaim had back then. So what are the Greeks? What is the war of the Greeks and what are they trying to do? They're trying to impurify our thoughts and our opinions and our approaches, our mindset towards certain things. Even today, the Greeks, right? They're trying to impurify the oil. What is oil? The oil is mochin, is the intellect. Hashkafot, our world perception, or the way we look at the world. The Yevanim, the Greeks, are trying to bring in confusion into our emunah, into the clarity of our emunah, and to make darkness. That's why this holiday comes in the darkest time of the year. They're trying to conceal the light of Hashem. And the sweetness that comes with serving Hashem. Like the rabbi said, right, in the beginning of Bereshit, in the beginning of the Torah, in the creation story, in the first 3 psukim, we have there a part that says, there was darkness on the face of the abyss. What is the darkness on the face of the abyss? The rabbis teach us, this is Malchut Yavan. This is the kingship of Greece. And they want, God forbid, to nullify from us Shabbat, meaning to take us out of the internal aspects of our emunah, which is the secret of Shabbat. And they also want to put us down and remove from us the sanctity of our Brit, which is the Brit Milah, and that is our internal connection. And they also wanted to push us away from the Kiddush HaChodesh, sanctifying the month, which is done by way of the Beit Din, which is today, exactly, Rosh Chodesh. The internal aspect of sanctifying the month by Beit Din is that we have to listen to the tzaddikim, to the Beit Din, that tell us and teach us to renew ourselves constantly in Avodat Hashem, and not to fall down to despair because of what was. Right? So the Greeks were trying to mess with us on 3 things. There's darkness. What are they? Shabbat, the Brit, and Kiddush HaChodesh, the sanctification of the new month, every month. Which they are the internal aspects of our emunah, our internal connection to Hashem, and the power to renew in our connection to the tzaddikim. In a correspondence, in a position to the Greeks and their impurities, we have to go out in a war with Mesirut Nefesh, with self-sacrifice, like the Chashmonaim. Chashmonaim were, in the beginning, just a couple dozen fighters, right? A father and his sons. And they became 5,000 at a certain point. But they were fighting elephants, which were tanks. They were fighting Romans. They were fighting a giant army, a giant army that made no sense that they would be successful. But they had Mesirut Nefesh. They said, it's not about us. We have to go out and fight. And we have to put in the effort to fight all of these foreign perceptions of the world. And by way of this light and the strength of Hashem Yitbarach that He's bringing down on us to overcome all of these opinions and these ways of looking at the world, and to go deeper into emunah, clear, bright emunah, decision-made emunah. And by way of this, we will light the candles, the light of emunah, bechatzorot kodechecha, in the courtyards, in your holy courtyards, meaning inside our nefesh, inside our being, in the most internal part. Because everything is intended for man. Everything is intended for you as an individual. You are olam katan. You are your own entire being. You're a whole entire world in yourself. And whatever happened then in the world in those days returns and happens inside your soul in the most internal chambers in this time. And only by way of the illumination of this powerful light that was back then, specifically the illumination of the holy candles of Chanukah, will merit B'ezrat Hashem, if Hashem wants, to overcome these opinions and these forces that are coming to mess up our head. What are we fighting? We're fighting internally, we're fighting the Yeshut, we're fighting our ego. Not only do the Yevanim blur our consciousness and our opinions and the way we look at the world, and they seal up our heart, they bring into the world and into our internal world pride and lusts. Someone who already started to serve Hashem, what happens to him? The Yetzer Hara comes and tells him, you're the one that's putting in the hard work. You're the one that you're doing all the holy things that you're doing, and you're trying to come closer to Hashem. And by way of this, you start to miss the true proper goal. The true proper goal is to feel only Hashem and to recognize Hashem and His oneness. Therefore, the main fight is on this feeling of the oneness of Hashem, the yichud of Hashem. To feel a little bit more the true reality of Hashem every time. That's the goal. How much closer are you recognizing that there's only Hashem and there's nothing else in this world? And to leave a little bit more the feeling of I, the feeling of me, the feeling it's about me. Therefore, there's an emphasis on this point. Inside the holy courtyards, inside the Torah learners, inside the people that are serving Hashem, the main power of the Yetzer Hara, when it comes to a person that's serving Hashem every day and learning Torah every day, is to mess him up on this idea and to pull him away, right? To learn for himself, for his own benefit, for his own honor. And you do everything. You put on the tzitzit, you put on the tefillin, you show up to shacharit, mincha, narvit, you learn Torah, you do mitzvot, but everything you feel is like for your success, for your stature, for you becoming something in this world. And you forget Hashem himself, God forbid. What's the proper way of doing this work? The son, that he does it for the love of his father more than for himself. Hashem wants us to do the service of Hashem from a desire to be with him. About with care, and I care about my relationship, I care about my connection to Hashem. From an understanding that only Hashem is the true good. Then it's only him that I'm going to seek out. And I'm going to connect to Hashem so much that the fact that there is a connection, that is already the goal. Right? Just the fact that there is simcha, there's joy to connect to Hashem and to reveal him in the world, that's already what I take my pleasure in. That's where my benefit comes in. Without my own desire. It's not about me. I'm always thinking about revealing Hashem, giving more honor to Hashem, increasing Hashem in the world, and that's where I take my benefit. If I do have any benefit, it's because I know I'm increasing Hashem in the world. I'm revealing him more. Till you come to a point where you feel, I'm not serving Hashem for any reward. My soul is yearning for you. Just the fact that I'm connected to you, that's everything for me. So you come to the point where you're not working for any reward. It's not about that. Right? Then all I'm interested in is your honor, your desire, and to make you happy. Like a person who loves his father very much. And why does he do anything? And only to give some pride and some nachat, some simcha to his father. Even if he doesn't earn anything, he doesn't come out with any reward. Even if he's about to lose, right? He's willing to do the work just because it's going to bring some good feeling to his father. Like the Chashmonaim, if they were to do a cheshbon, if they were to do a calculation, are we going to win the number one army in the world right now? What's the natural outcome of that math equation? No way. Impossible. There's not even one way that a couple hundred or a couple thousand soldiers that don't know anything, Kohanim, meaning they were bichlad, the people of peace. The only thing they knew how to do was cut a bull's neck. That was it. They didn't know anything else. They didn't know how to fight. They definitely were not on the level of the Greeks and the Spartans and all of that, right? If they had to do any calculation, the answer was no chance. But they didn't even do the calculation. Because what's the point of the calculation? Right now we're being attacked. Right now we're being occupied. We just go out and fight. They just wanted to reveal the honor of Hashem in the world. They were very zealous to Hashem. Because they loved their Creator so much. How sweet is it for a person when they merit to live this way, to live the truth. That's the true will of your holy neshama. Your neshama, what does it want? To live the truth, to live a life of truth. Your soul is a piece of Hashem from up above. And this is what it's looking out for all the time. Right? Those of you who are clinging to Hashem, you're living God. You're clinging to Him Himself. You'll all be living today. Right? So that's the war that's being renewed every year. And then to continue on, they say that this is a time, Chanukah, but also today, because we said Hallel. And Chanukah is a time, lehodot ulehalel. Right? To say thanks, to give thanks, and to give praise to Hashem. So what are we saying thank you for? What are we exactly saying thank you for? The main reason we say thank you is for what Hashem is giving us now. The days of Chanukah are days of gratitude, right, and praise on the amazing, wonderful miracles that happened, that Hashem did for our forefathers. In those days, at this time. Even though it's a little bit hard, because it's a little bit hard for a person to really be grateful from his whole entire heart on a miracle that was done to his forefathers 1,000, 2,000 years ago. So many years have passed. And if that's the case, how are we meant to say thank you to Hashem and to praise Hashem with your whole entire heart? Something that you didn't really go through. It happened 2,000 years ago. So you have to know that the gratitude and all of the praise, it's not just about what was back then, in the time of the Chashmonaim. Rather, by power of what was then, now we have, like we just explained from the Arizal, a new light that's coming down every single year, a brand new light that is that same light from then, but it's a brand new revelation of it. And light that teaches us and influences us and purifies us and elevates us. And that is why we're saying thank you. That's the main reason we're turning to Hashem and saying thank you, Hashem Yitbarach, for this light. And this light comes into us by way of the sanctity of these holy days, specifically by way of, like we said, the lighting of the candles of Chanukah. Because by way of doing this physical mitzvah, action-oriented mitzvah, the spiritual light is brought down on us. Right? We do a physical action of lighting the candles. That is the kli, that is the vessel to bring down this light on us. So we have to be grateful and thankful for the true life. One of the pnimiyut, one of the inner works that we have in this of Chanukah, is to get used to saying Todah Hashem, thank you Hashem, on what you give us. Right? It's a holiday that we say every single day, a full Hallel. Full Hallel.
Great.
Full Hallel. You say a full Hallel every single day in your Birkat Hamazon and everything that you're doing. Leodot al kach she'anu Yehudim. Thank you Hashem that you made me a Jew. Leodot she'natan lanu litkarev elav lehargish oto. That you gave us the opportunity to come closer to you, to feel you. Im rak nitbonen kama chashuchim chayei mi she'en lo kirvat Elokim. If we just contemplate how dark and how bitter is the life of someone who doesn't have a closeness to Hashem, who doesn't have a relationship with Hashem. How much anxiety, how much fear does he go through? How much pain does he have? How empty does he really feel? We are your nation, the children of your covenant. We have who to lean on, because we know the truth of the whole entire creation, that there's a creator. There's content, there's purpose for our life. We have the sweetness of Torah and mitzvot. And even when it's hard for us, we have who to turn towards. Our Father in heaven that's listening to us constantly. And specifically to say thank you on the miracles of Chanukah. So that Hashem revealed to us the true reality, that she'enod milvado, there's nothing besides Him. By way of this, we can live proper lives from a place of sweetness, a tranquility, of calmness in life. Right? And the main aspect over everything is that internally in us, Hashem opened up for us pnimiyut. Hashem opened up for us internal spiritual work. We know, like, the number one holiday in Chassidut is Chanukah. It's the most spiritual holiday. Why? Because within the darkness, you have the most light. Right? The fact that from such a dark place, right, we start to serve Hashem, and we can connect to Hashem just by lighting candles at the bottom where the Shekhinah is not revealed, close to the ground. Right? It's all about the darkness. It's all about going down, down, down internally. That is such a lofty thing that we have to say, Hashem, thank you, Hashem, just for Kabbalah and Chassidut, and just for the internal work that we have. Service of Hashem from a place of a desire to connect, from a yearning to connect, immense emotions. But from itbatlut v'achna la'asot ma shu rotzeh, but I'm nullified completely, and I submit myself to what your will is, Hashem. V'shiyitzeh b'foal ma shehu mivin shetzarich liot. That b'zat Hashem, whatever Hashem understands that needs to be in the world, whatever Hashem wants to be in the world, that's what should come out into the world. Because that's the best thing and that's the most proper thing to happen in the world. When you serve Hashem properly, without gava, without pride, then the person doesn't get broken in times where he's not successful as when you plan to do. Instead of feeling like a failure or feeling prideful of your successes, you just feel like a son who's desired in front of his father, always, on one side, right? My father loves me and he wants me close and he's very proud of me. On the other side, you feel like a complete tool, that your whole entire job is just to reveal Hashem's light in the world. And on this holiday of Chanukah, we say thank you to Hashem day after day after day after day, again and again and again. And specifically on Chanukah, we say Hallel and Ala Nisim 8 days, again and again and again. Ein sof la'omek akara ha'eloki, because there's no depth, there's no end to the depth of recognizing godliness. Ein sof la'omek sheyehudi yachol yitkarev LaHashem yitbarach. There's no depth, there's no end to how much Hashem wants us to connect and how much a Jew can connect to Hashem. Right? Again, it's 8 days. 8 days is a hint of the infinite. 8 days of infinitely saying thank you, Hashem, because there is no stop to it. There's no end to how much you can connect to Hashem and how much you can recognize Hashem and say thank you. Again, in Hebrew, right, the most proper word for thanks is akarat hatov, is recognition of the good. Hodaya, hod comes from the word of modeh, right, to recognize, to admit. When I say thank you to you, I'm admitting that you helped me. Right? In English, it doesn't really come out that way. Thank you. You say, yeah, thank you, but thanks doesn't say much, right? But in thanks doesn't say much. It doesn't really, what does that mean, thanks? Right? But in Hebrew, todah, like, I admit that you helped me so much that I got this thing achieved, that I was successful in getting this thing done. Right? So it's infinite, and it's the holiday of Hod as well. Chanukah is the holiday of Hod. It's all about recognizing the true, and Hod, we're going to learn about it, B'ezrat Hashem, next week. Hod is the true recognition of what's going on internally, behind what I see with my eyes. On that sense, on that level, then already I'm coming to a much deeper recognition with Hashem, and I'm more conscious of that, and there's infinite levels there. And every single day is like a brand new day to recognize, to be grateful, and to praise Hashem again and again and again on more and more depths. Ubegulatenu ufdut nafshenu, and the redemption and the bringing back of our souls to its proper place. Yerushalayim Yer HaKodesh, Binyan Beit HaMikdash, Mashiach Tzidkenu B'imra V'Yameinu. Amen. Ken Yehi Ratzon.
Amen. Chazak u'baruch.